Imagine this. You want to work in construction. You want to create, to build, to work with your hands. You want to be as far away from an office as possible. You do your training and get your qualification in construction. You are told in your training that construction is noble and you can use it to do good in the world. You complete your training and start to work on site. However, there are half as many workers as there should be. Scaffolding keeps on falling on everyone. You have to work 15-hour days just to get the basics done. You only want to take on public contracts because you believe in the system, but you're not earning enough to live and provide for your family. You go to your local MP and say that you would like a raise, and the reply is, well, there isn't a magic money tree. You protest this, saying that an MP's earning a basic salary of roughly $84,000 a year according to parliament.uk, and they reply with, well, building is a calling. Why are you in it for the money? You're being selfish. The analogy firstly states that I know nothing about construction, but it also shows that when you put the nursing dilemma into another profession, it seems ludicrous. The reason why the strikes are happening is because nationwide nurses are sick and tired of the same rhetoric. A nurse who I worked with during the pandemic summarised the general feeling very well. I'll keep them anonymous for this video. Why are the public sending us free food to say thank you? This is our job. Our job is to save lives, and we do that every day. You need to pay us fairly for what we do, not just give us gifts. The average nurse's salary is $42,000 a year. That sounds great, doesn't it? That is a reasonable salary to live on. However, this number is taken from private nursing jobs. If you are newly qualified in an NHS hospital, you will earn $27,000 a year. You will have to wait 2 years before your pay increases, and you will also have to pay to renew your license, revalidate every 3 years, and if you drive to work, you will probably have to pay for your own parking. I put the starting salary into a mortgage calculator and got £97,000. The actual salary after tax is $21,000 a year, which is $1,750 a month. If you add up food, heating, electricity, insurance, transport, you are not left with much at the end. Also, if you are a single parent providing for your family, the amount becomes less and less. The balance of the wage you have and the responsibility you have should be equal. All nurses know that if they make an error, they can cause harm to a person or even kill them. Should you train for 3 years only just to scrape by? From a purely logical perspective, if the pay was increased to fit the skills and knowledge required for the job, not just only with inflation, then more people would train to be nurses. From an ethical perspective, showing that you value nurses by compensating them fairly will improve quality of care. According to a study by Sharma and Raimi, the recommended nurse-to-patient ratio is 1 nurse to 4 patients. This was taken from Australia's mandatory ratios. A study in Israel found that if the number of patients was increased from 4 to 6, mortality rates increased by 7%. The University of Southampton stated that in their yearly review that nursing ratios could be as high as 1 nurse to 10 patients. So if 4 to 6 makes 7%, 4 to 10 makes 21%. One could be critical of that data as it is 4 years old, but I know from professional experience the numbers can be as high as 1 nurse to 14 patients. The result of being overworked and overstressed. Nurses are being medically signed off work and can be out of practice for months on end as they slowly recover. Burnout is horrible. You are too weak to do anything. You feel helpless. Your worldview is always negative. This does not heal overnight, and you will need intensive therapy to get yourself back to a normal state. You feel guilty that your absence might make your colleagues work more. If we had better care and support, safer staffing levels, and a pay that reflects the work that we do, then the strikes probably would not have happened. We want to care because we're nurses, and that's what we do. No matter what your politics are, and no matter whether you believe in the NHS or not, we all believe that if we or our families got ill, we would want the best for them. Nurses share that sentiment as well. Someone spat at Hannah Taylor, a children's nurse. A nurse who takes care of children was spat at. I could never be a children's nurse because I do not have the courage to be responsible for a child's life. Someone who does that on a day-to-day basis was spat at because she was brave enough to stand up. Take a moment to think about that. The person who spat at this nurse might be a parent themselves.